Hello class, I hope that you can all see me and hear me pretty well. Today I'm going to be going over the 2-day food journal, because I know all of you are at like varying degrees of completion with this, and I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page, and that we're all caught up, and that there's no confusion in any of the parts of it, so that we can get it turned in, and we can get it done, and get it out of the way. Sound good? Great. I guess you can't really answer because this is a recording, but if you said yes, then great. And bear with me through the entire video. I'm going to be going over all of the things that we've done up to this point, which is March 5th on a Friday. Next week we will be doing fiber, and I will help you through all of that as best as I can. But for now, hopefully we've gotten our food journal done, both of the days. We've done the dining by traffic light, the daily dozen, and we've added the sugar and the fiber in grams. But we will be going more in depth with fiber next week. So I'm just on the P1 health page. I know regardless of your class, it's going to look the same. If you're purple 2, if you're teal 1, or if you're teal 2. So we'll go into classwork. We'll see this big nutrition section here, and you'll open up the 2-day food journal. And you got to be sure. This first one right here, it's I guess it's kind of a trick because a lot of people click on this one first. This is just the example, and that's the page that's going to have some of Mrs. Simpson's notes in it. But you want the one that will say your name, and then it will say the 2-day food journal. And you'll click on that, and it'll take you here. It'll look familiar to everyone, because it should. I just put those in there as a reference. I was explaining this earlier. Whoopsie daisy. But this is what it should look like if you haven't filled anything out. There are 2 days. All you've got to do is you find 2 days, 2 normal days of eating, whether it be Monday and Tuesday, or like Monday and Wednesday, or Tuesday and Thursday, whenever. We want to try and avoid days with very little eating, or like a weird outlying day, like if you're traveling, or if you're sick, or if you've got some sort of sports tournament that day. Because on days like that, our eating is sort of sporadic and crazy, and it might not be as best as we would hope to be. So pick 2 normal days. They can be right after the other, or they can be different times of the week. But you're going to put down the time that you ate everything, and then you're going to put down what you ate and drank, and try and be specific as you can with this. If you just put down burger, I'm not going to accept that. I would at least like sort of an ingredients list of what you remember on your burger if you ate a hamburger or a cheeseburger or whatever. Because with burger, there's so many different types of burgers that it would be impossible for me to know how much you consumed, how much sugar, and how much fiber there might have been. So if you did have this burger, maybe you had cheese on top of it. Maybe you had tomato, some lettuce, onion, and pickle. Or if you're again getting specific with it, maybe you got it from McDonald's. It's a McDonald's burger. Or if you had it from Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, or if you had it from Five Guys, wherever. Which will be easier in the future if you did get it from some of those places. But if you made it at home, it's totally fine. Again, just put the amount of... Try and be as specific as possible with what you ate and drank. And if you don't remember everything that's in it, just try to. Especially if it's something like mixed together, like if it's pico de gallo, or if it's like mixed nuts. some sort of pasta sauce, a salsa, anything of that sort. If it's homemade and it's all mixed together and you're like, I'm not sure what's in this, or if it's like some sort of like cream sauce or an Alfredo sauce, whatever it might be, just, you can ask your parents or you can look online for recipes, but just, again, just try and be as specific as possible. Same with the amount consumed. So if you did have that bowl of pasta, the bowl of Alfredo pasta, how much did you have? Did you have a medium-sized bowl? Did you have a large bowl? Did you have like a little small bowl? Something like that. And if you have measuring cups at home, it's going to be even easier, because then you can look at your measuring cups and you can be like, oh, I had 2 cups of pasta, or I had, 4 cups of pasta. It was a really big bowl. Or maybe you just had like 1 little cup of pasta. And then how much sauce did you have with it? Like a medium bowl of pasta. Excuse my spelling. Or maybe you had, and then maybe you had like a 1/4 cup of sauce on top of it. Something of that nature. Medium bowl of pasta and a 1/4 cup of sauce, or you can do like a drizzling of sauce, something like that. Try and be as specific as you can, but if you're just sort of guesstimating, that's totally fine. I did the same sort of thing, and I'm going to show mine as well, so you can see it. But let me actually get that here. So we can see Mr. Matsutani's food journal for reference. But yeah, once you do this whole day, and you'll do the next whole day, and please at least have more than 2 or 3 or 4 entries in it. And again, write down everything you eat and drink for each day, even if it's just like a cup of water. Although, I guess I say everything loosely, because if you just ate 1 single jelly bean, or if you ate, 1 single chocolate chip, 1 single grain of rice, or something like that, that's so insignificant that I don't care that it's on there. But if it's a substantial meal, or if it's like a pretty solid snack, then put it on there. If you had a few drinks of water, great. And especially for water, or water bottles specifically, you can look at the bottom of each vessel of water, like a bottle, and it should tell you how many ounces it is. I have a water bottle that has 40 ounces written on the bottom. So if I drink half of that by lunchtime, then I'll put it in here, which I have put in there. Let me show you really quick as I pull this guy over. Hello. Yeah. So I didn't write down every sip of water that I took, but I know by about noon I had about half of my bottle, and it was done. And then by the end of the day too, again at 3 o'clock, the end of the school day, I drank the rest of my water bottle, so it was empty by the time I took it home. And I was drinking it throughout the day. I was taking little sips here or there. So, and I didn't want to, write down every single time I took a sip of water, because that just seems absurd. So, you write down, oh, I had half of my water bottle, or I had all of my water bottle, and then I filled it up after class, and I drank it all the way through again my next class. Whatever you want to do. And again, you can combine that too. If you had like 3 water bottles full of water by the time, noon rolls around, you can say that. You can be like, yeah, I had 3 bottles of water before lunch. And yeah, be as specific as possible. Again, please. It helps me out, and it'll help you out too, because later on when we're doing sugar and fiber, you'll be able to know how much you had, and you'll be able to look up the serving size of the particular food and be able to calculate the amount of sugar and the amount of fiber in it. So it helps me out so I can see how much you had, and it helps you out because you'll be doing the research. But, so here I have my own, and it's all listed and labeled out, but this is like a close to completed project. This is what it should sort of look like when you're finished. And I would say, I sort of messed up on this, but I'd say make banana its own line, make that Nutri-Grain bar its own line, make those salted nuts its own line, because there's 14 plate, and then I still have like 3 or 4 empty spaces here. So, yeah. Although if you do have like an entire meal of some things, then you can put like, oh yeah, I had this roast beef, baby carrots, potato, and onion. It was sort of a stew that I had. It was all mixed together, and you can put that on one line. Or what I had for dinner here, I had all of this mixed together. Well, sort of. I had my chicken parmesan pasta, and then I had Brussels sprouts to the side of it. So this was all one meal. It was all on one plate. And I said that too. I had about half a plate of pasta, and then the other half was filled with Brussels sprouts that I made. So you can be semi-specific, but again, like how much, just again try and guesstimate how much you need. So I had, or how much you ate. I had about half a chicken breast. Again, I guesstimated. I know for a fact I didn't have a whole chicken breast. It was cut up into chunks, and I had more pasta than I had chicken breast. About 1.5 cups of cooked pasta, quite a bit of that. It was a homemade pasta sauce, and I didn't make it, but I do remember what sort of went into it, and it was mostly tomato, garlic, and onion, with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of other seasonings, and of course, since it's chicken parmesan, you're going to have that Parmesan cheese in it. And I wasn't specific. I wasn't like, oh, it was exactly 13 sprinkles of Parmesan cheese. It was just a little dash over the top of it. I don't know how much it was, but yeah, that's all I had. And then I did sort of guesstimate the amount of Brussels sprouts I had. I didn't count each individual one, but I know they were all cut up into halves, and they were scattered across the other half of my plate. So I figure it was about 8. It could have been 7. It could have been 9. I'm not really sure. But again, just try and get close to it. And if you need to, have like a little piece of paper, if you are still writing this down. Have a little piece of paper, and throughout the day be like, okay, I had this, and you write it down. I had a sip of water at this time, or I had a little snack at this time, or I had some pretzels at this time. And then you can go back in to this and fill it all out. I think that's the best way to do it. That's what I did, personally. Because I don't expect you, every time you eat or drink something, to open up your computer, open up this document, and fill out each individual part of it. So that's just the basics. Putting everything in there, the time, what you had, how much of something you had, and then we will get to these parts in due time.